Hello, everyone. How's it going? We'll hang out for just a minute here and give people a chance to pop in before we get started. We have Meta, hello, and Lori and Diane and Laura and Jojo and Corleo. How's everyone doing? I'm so dehydrated today. I've not drank any water. Hello, Krista. Lurking over here now. That's awesome. Okay. So, today I have a painting that I've been working on for Hello Ma, Hello Carol, um, that I actually just started working on with my members. And they got to see the whole boring gritting drawing process. Hello, Ohio Shar. So you guys are gonna get to see some of the blocking in and like glazing process. So when you Sasha, you're so welcome. I loved it. Um, I when you guys see some of my paintings and you're like, I want a tutorial on something like this, and I'm always like, no, I couldn't teach that. Um, Basically, you're going to get to see a piece of that today. Hello, Curly Whirly. So yeah, it's starting out looking like a Technicolor nightmare, but I promise it's gonna be good and dark and moody when I'm done. So here's where we stand right now. I know it looks horrifying, but this is actually like my favorite part of the painting because it almost looks like I'm challenging myself to make the biggest mess that I can to see if I can bring it back. And I have I have every faith in myself that I can. So, yeah, this is what we're going to be doing. And I think everything is dry. So I should be able to start right back into it. So if you guys have any questions, um, just shout them out. And yeah, tell me, are you guys working on anything today? Are you doing any painting or drawing or arting of any kind? I hope it's going to be awesome. But at the same time, I'm open to it not being awesome because that's just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes paintings don't work out, and you just shrug your shoulders, take your lessons, and move on from there. So let's see. In the window, because the window's kind of where I left off. So I might as well just pick right back up there. Oh, where are my colors? I miss that in my old studio I had all my paints like hanging behind me or behind my easel and I could just see them all. And now I've got them in drawers and I have to dig through the drawer to find anything. So that's kind of a pain, but it's not too bad. All right. So as you can see, I started out with a neon pink underpainting. So when you guys are asking me like, what color should I use for my underpainting? And I say you can use whatever you want. Literally, you can use whatever you want. I love using hot pink and fluorescent red is another one that I use a lot. I haven't used hot pink in a while, so I figured Today was a good day for that. And my drawing is super wonky and needs adjustments, but that comes as I build the layers, so I'm not worried about that. Nobody's doing any kind of art today. I've been spending so much time working on small paintings. Oh, I need to show you guys how the ones from last week turned out. I finished those and I don't hate them. They're pretty good. Finish this and I'll grab those and show you how that turned out. Pretty good. You just did 2 ATCs just now? I'm really proud of you. How did it feel? Because I know it's been a minute since you did some painting. Oh, there they are. So the green and orange ones we worked on last week. Correcting a painting that was too dark. Yeah, that can happen. Yeah, priorities. Oh, you just got back from vacation? Lucky. Oh, Denise, welcome. Welcome. We're so happy to have you. Yeah, so last week, these are what we were working on, and here's how they turned out. So they're okay. They're they're not my favorite that I've ever done, but I don't hate them. So, yeah. Uh okay. Now we got to get the table. Denise, if you go onto my YouTube channel and click posts, you'll be able to see all of the members only posts in there. And there's one, I think it's the one I posted just like a day or two ago, not the one from today. What's happening here? It's got the instructions to get linked up to my Discord. So make sure you do that because we spend a lot of time in Discord. Ooh, you have the background completed for a lake scene. Oh, nice. That sounds gorgeous. Okay, table. Tabletop is next. Um, we'll just go with kind of a standard neutrally brownish color. Let's see, my vase needs a little bit of help. I'm not worried about getting rid of all of that hot pink. Some of it may show through in the final painting, and that's okay. Oh no, Krista, that's awful. I hope you're okay. Hello. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm really happy to have all you guys here with me today. I think this side needs to come in just a tiny bit. Either that or the other side needs to come out. We're going to pull that one in a little. But notice, I know that um, sometimes we get a little bit hung up on, if there's an imperfection, like my vase is not exactly the right shape just yet. And so sometimes we can kind of get hung up on that and drop what we're doing and be like, okay, I need to fix this right now. But you really don't. You can fix it as you go. I made a tiny adjustment there. And when I get onto my next layer or the next part and it touches the vase, I'll make another little adjustment. But I'm not gonna stop everything and go correct that, because that spot is going to end up with a lot more paint on it than the other spots around it, and that will show, and it will be overworked looking, and it'll look weird in the context of everything else if I spend way too much time trying to correct that. So I'm just going to ignore it for now. I'll correct it as I go. But I think that's a little bit better. Yeah. Okay. Once I get everything kind of painted in initially, just like the kind of the color mapping, um, then I think things they start to kind of flow a little bit better. Right now, there's a lot of decisions that I'm making as far as what colors, really, where are the elements placed, how do they relate to each other. There's a lot of that kind of thinking going on right now. But once this part's done, then it's not. Then it's like, okay, this window, I know what I want it to look like. Now it's just kind of approaching that, or, whatever element I'm working on. Gotta correct this too. This is hanging a little bit, which I guess isn't too bad. I want it to look like an old rundown house. These aren't going to be live flowers. They're just going to be kind of like dried flowers in silhouette. So I guess it's okay if there's a bit of wonkiness here and there. That's not too bad. Okay, now gotta get some color put into my vase. I think that's pretty dark, but that should be okay. All right, here I can start correcting my vase also because I'm painting within the vase. I think I like the shape there, but I feel like this is too much. Mm. Hello, Glorabelle. How are you? All right. I got both of those sides done. Let me look at it and see if it's wonky. Yeah, this. Kind of like the idea that it's like a hand blown glass vase. So once again, I guess it's okay if there's a little bit of wonkiness. Is that good? Whoa! I just about fell down and died, guys, right here on live YouTube. Just about died. I think the top is a little high on one side. There. That looks better. Tammy, hello, friend. How are you? I saw Denise. Yay. Um, I just started this one right before this. So, um, if you go to the live videos, it's going to be the video right before this one. Um, yeah, it's the top post under my posts on YouTube. And I don't know if you heard me say before, Denise, scroll down to the second post. I believe it's the second post. Might be the third. Anyway, scroll down a little bit and you'll find a post that gives the directions to get onto Discord because that's where we spend the majority of our time and we would love to have you there. And anyone else who wants to come hang out with us. Um, we are doing classes each month. We have a theme each month and this month it was like shapes and proportions. So we went over a lot of that, and that was pretty fun. At least I had fun. Next month, I can't remember what next month is. Give me a second and I'll look. Excuse me. Um, maybe. Well, oh, here we go. Values. So, yeah, in March, we're going to be talking about values, which is basically all of this dark that you see, the weird scribbly dark lines. That's me setting my values. So, we're going to talk about values a lot next month. So, to my members who might have felt like we were kind of moving into being a drawing class, next month we're going to start doing some more painting. So, just want these flowers to be really, really crinkly. I don't want, any real distinct shape. I'm not trying to make flowers here. I'm just trying to give interesting edges, an interesting shape. I might cut into that just a little bit. Make it a bit more asymmetrical so it hangs down lower on this side. It comes up a little higher on that side. So spring is coming. Are we gonna find more time to do some painting now that the holidays and the winter is about over? Or do you guys find you paint more that time of year and less so in the spring? What time of year do you feel like you paint the most? It does. It is very similar. Yes. I've wanted to do another one for a long time. I haven't done one of these vases in a few years. Um, I think the one that was in my Kickstarter, I feel like that was like 23. I think that's when I did that one. Oops. Not terribly worried about like how the stems move and everything right now because I'm going to lose a lot of them anyway, and I'll probably end up changing it, but I just want to get some, it's just kind of the texture and like the idea of direction and everything in. So I have a place to work from there. I like that shape a lot. Oh, I'm so tempted. Do I put one right there? There's already kind of the suggestion just from my underpainting. But I feel like if I put one there, it's gonna mirror this one too much and look weird. I think I'm gonna leave it off. And same thing in here. Okay. Let's just go a little darker in a few spots and then we'll move on and maybe start doing some glazing. Okay. Yeah, it would be way too balanced. All right. I'm ready. Do some glazing, but I gotta dry it real quick. Remember, if you're doing glazing, you absolutely cannot be impatient. Use your hair dryer. It is your best friend. I'll be right back. Well, thanks, Diane. Let's hope that I can keep it that way. Uh, what size? This is 12 by 16. It's it's kind of my go-to. I don't know. I occasionally paint larger, but it almost feels like, just for me and the way that I paint, I feel like painting larger just takes more time and um, costs more, you know? Um, so I try to only go like large when it means something. So that's not very dark. I think I need to go a little darker than that. There we go. So it's this glazing process that I think um, kind of makes it like tutorial prohibitive, like a full length tutorial anyway, because I don't have a lot of rhyme or reason when I glaze. I just suddenly decide, okay, it's time for a glaze. Uh, but I guess you kind of get the same idea watching these shorter versions. And hopefully that's helpful. And I know glazing can be really scary if you've not done it before, especially if you glaze like I do, where you've got things going, colors are looking pretty good. Boom, you throw some weird gray color over top of everything, or some super sour green color that, so you have to trust yourself with glazing. You have to trust the process, that old chestnut. And you have to know how to use the matte medium, uh, or whatever medium you use to glaze with. I prefer matte medium, but not everybody does. So what this is doing here basically, because I had like a Technicolor nightmare, right? I had that neon pink. I had that really vivid Naples yellow over on this side, that was made more vivid by the neon pink under it. I had the blue and the dark and the brown and everything. And it was looking very disconnected, which was fine. But doing that glaze, notice now everything feels like it exists together. Even the hot pink. The colors aren't, I mean, they're not correct by any stretch of the imagination, but the colors have a little bit more coherence right now. Hello, Laurie. Am I using a medium? Yes, I am using matte medium. That's what I always, always, always use. Um, I like the matte medium. You can use gloss medium. You can use glazing medium. I like matte medium because I found that the Liquitex glazing medium dries super fast. Super, super fast. The golden glazing medium dries super slow, and I don't have time for that. Um, but the matte medium, it it doesn't dry instantly like the glazing medium does. It stays for a minute, so I can really, you know, spread the glaze evenly. Um, yeah, so that's why I use matte medium. Nope, there's no Payne's Gray. Nope. I only use chromatic blacks. So this is a mix between brown and a phthalo blue mix. Uh, yeah, I almost never use Payne's Gray. I did use a little bit last week in these, just because I was having a little bit of a hard time getting my darks dark enough with the chromatic black I was using. But yeah, I always mix my black. And part of the reason for that is Payne's Gray doesn't agree with everything. Payne's Gray is very blue. So if I'm mixing Payne's Gray or glazing with Payne's Gray or whatever, it's going to appear very blue, and that can throw off the colors, throw off the harmony of my colors. But if I use two colors that make a black, then I have the ability to shift it blue or brown. In fact, the vase here, I painted it in with my mixture, my chromatic black mixture. I just leaned it a little closer to the blue side and then obviously added some not white to it because I don't use white, but that's my members, help me out. What's that white that I use? Can't, my brain is dead. Oh, it's right here. Titan Violet. That's what I'm using for white. So it's kind of a purpley color. I might also use some Titan Green or probably just Titan Green and Titan Violet. Those are kind of my standbys. I need to adjust my vase again. Just noticed it's a little loppy right here. Is that better? That's better. Yeah. Yeah, the Titan Green. Yeah, you know the Titan Green. I have it in this stupid tube, but it's golden. Golden makes all of those Titan colors, and I love them. I cannot help but feel like this vase is still wonky. I know in the camera, like when I look at it in the camera, it looks fine, but I think it's this. Just trying to figure out where it's wonky. I forgot I put a chair in here, and that's what I tripped over earlier. I think it's getting better. Pull this up just a tiny bit. I think that's better for now. All right, we're all glazed up, and uh, now I can start like really working my colors. And this part is just kind of, I mean, it's just by the seat of my pants. There's no rhyme or reason to why I choose to work on one part over another. I just tend to pick one that I feel like will kind of bring the most life to the painting straight out of the gate. And I am kind of, thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate it. I am kind of leaning toward working on the windows. So I think that's what I'm going to do because that's my light source. The windows are where all of the light, without them, everything would be black, just dead and dark. So I think I'm going to work on them first. And I need more medium. I'm basically using all of my colors at this point. Thank you, Krista. I'm basically using all of my colors at this point transparently. as I work, as I get closer and closer toward the end, then I start using the paint heavier. But for now, I'm using lots of medium. Let's get a little bit of a dusty green going on outside. And a good bit of medium in there. And since nothing else is finished, is that dry? Ooh, that's not dry. It's gonna pull. It's gonna pull my glaze. I need to dry this real quick. But since nothing else is finished, I don't have to worry about, overlapping things or painting into a different element. So give me a second. I'm gonna mute you. I'm gonna dry this real quick. All right, much better. Oh yeah. I just want it to feel like there's something kind of growing out there, but the windows are old and they're dusty and maybe sandblasted from wind. Who knows? They're not real clear. You can't see out of them real well anymore. And maybe it is a little foggy outside. I just got to get me some mood. Do forgive me once I start into this part of the painting. This is kind of where I start to kind of hit flow and I kind of start zoning out. So if you guys have questions, I can see chat out of the corner of my eye so I can see if you say anything. Yeah, feel free to ask questions. Yes, you do need to start painting again. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. You guys help me too. A lot. A lot, a lot. Where do I need some more? Trying not to treat these as individual window panes, which is hard because they're divided. But if I do, then I might have like a polka dot in the middle of each one that aren't connected. But remember, when you're painting windows, what you're seeing outside is it's all connected. So you kind of have to ignore the crossbars a little bit. Let's warm some of that up a bit. I'm going to bring a bit more brown into it. Another thing I tend to do, I'll show you on my palette in just a second. I will tend to mix in a very, like the same spot, mix one color where I just mixed another color, and that will give me a little bit of some muddy colors. But so like right here, you can see my matte medium. Whoops, I've mixed several different colors, And so that has existed in all of those loads of paint. But I'm glazing everything with the same colors, so it doesn't really matter. Really do tend to fly by the seat of my pants quite a lot when I'm painting. I show you guys those things because I know that there is that tendency a lot to feel like you have to keep everything so separate. You have to keep your colors clean. You have to keep um, your your brush completely clean. You can't have any crossover or contamination, and that's just not the case. It's not the case at all. And by the way, not all of the colors on my palette are in this. This is the same palette I used last week on the green ones. Uh, yeah. Let's start getting some of my light colors in there. And once again, this is my white where I mix the color for my vase. I'm just going to dip right into there. I don't need pure white, so it's going to have a little bit of blue in it. And that's a-okay. Oh, did I miss a message? Scout, if you need help, let us know. I can help, or Eileen, Tammy, they're all good helpers. Everybody is really. Ooh, those colors I just put down are still kind of wet. I hate painting into wet paint. I really do. I like painting only on top of dry paint. So all you guys who say that you struggle because acrylic paint dries so fast, for me, sometimes it doesn't dry fast enough. That's why my blow dryer gets such a workout. Kind of wish I waited until that was dry, but that's all right. A little bit of an extra fog at the base of the glass. Scout, if you have a hard time, just leave me a comment somewhere and I will do my best to help you out. Oh man, those windows are already looking good. Do you guys ever get excited for yourself while you're painting? Meaning, are you ever painting something and sometimes you just stop and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I get so cool? Like, how did I get to be so good? How am I able to paint something like that? Because you should. That's the point. You should be able to say things like that to yourself. I think it's important that we all be our own cheerleaders. Oh, hello. Was that? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. Paralyzed in my right hand, wondering artist physically paint now, but not mentally. Oh, yeah. I have noticed that stress, pain, things like that, anything that's really even just physically taxing, not even necessarily mentally taxing. It can be so hard to get your creative brain going when you're going through something like that. Um, and I think my best advice for you is, if it's something you still like feel like you want to do, even if you're struggling with it right now, keep showing up to it when you feel like it. Don't push yourself to perform. Just give yourself the opportunity to try. That's it. And I think that it will come back. It will definitely come back. But you just have to be nice to yourself, and don't push it. Okay? Show up, but don't push it, and don't get mad at yourself if you show up and it doesn't happen, because you went through something pretty traumatic. You need some time. So give yourself the luxury of that time. Oh, yeah, those windows are looking good already, man. Oh, that's awesome, Diane. I haven't painted with a palette knife exclusively in a long time. At some point, I just kind of went, I don't think the palette knife's for me. Except in watercolor. I paint in watercolor a lot with palette knife. Okay, I'm gonna let those windows sit for a bit. I'm not gonna take any one element to completion at any point, at least this early on. So those are not my final windows, but that's a good start. So really, I'm just going to do a layer on the windows, and then I'm going to do a layer here and a layer there until everything has a layer. And then I kind of start that over. Um, you still need critiques in order to feel confident. Hey, that's what we're for in the group, right? And yeah, just guys, be careful who you ask for critiques, especially online, on social media, because there's a lot of people who like to use things like that as opportunities to tear someone down and try to prove to everyone else how knowledgeable and awesome they are. And I'm in a few art groups, and I see it all the time. Someone who's trying, they're doing their best. They're learning something new, and they make the mistake of coming into the group and saying, "Can I have a critique?" And some slime ball decides to pop in and talk about. There was one guy who literally told the artist asking for a critique to go get a or take up woodworking or something. And they didn't mean it kindly. They were like, "This is absolute trash. You should start woodworking or something instead." And those things make me so angry. And then they always try to justify it with, well, if I painted something that was trash, I would want someone to tell me. And, but not everybody's like that. And especially when you are newer to painting or just starting to put yourself out there, one one comment like that could be the end of your painting, you know? I mean, if someone who was presenting themselves as like a paint master told me when I was coming up that my paint was trash and that I should take up another hobby, I probably would have stopped painting. That's not that's not productive for anyone. And yeah, so just remember the saying that don't take what is it? Don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't ask for advice or whatever this saying is. Somebody help me out here. I'm losing it. Um, I think the best way to get good critiques, good, honest, productive critiques on your work is to find someone, whether that's me or someone else, someone that you are comfortable with, that you trust, that you know what kind of art they do, and ask them. And if you feel like they are trying to make you feel bad, or that they are delivering information in a way that does not hold your emotions, your feelings in regard, never ask them for advice again. Because getting a critique is not about being torn down. Okay, that's not what a critique is. A critique is, here are the things you did really good. These are areas that I that I'm really I hate to say like proud of, like, oh, I'm proud of you, but these are the areas that you do really, really good. And I really want to see more of that, blah, blah, blah. Here's an area where you could improve. And here's some ideas to help you improve in that area. Um, that's a critique. Saying, wow, this is really trash is not a critique. So, anyway, that's my soapbox. No, you can show your art, absolutely. And then unsolicited critiques can just be brushed off. But yeah, just be careful who you ask for a critique, because there's a lot of people who don't care if they hurt your feelings. Um, I have an issue with patience too. um, oh, good, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, there's always time for it to turn trash, but it's not there yet. Can I just point something out here real quick, though? I see it more when I look at the screen. That's why I keep looking over here while I'm painting. I have a little bit of a... I will never be able to pronounce this word, so I'm going to say it completely incorrectly. Feel free to laugh. Like Closnine? Closnine? I can't pronounce that word. So Van Gogh did that a lot, and Gauguin, and it's basically where everything is kind of heavily outlined, almost like stained glass. So this is just from the Inktense pencil that I used to draw everything out, but it's kind of got that effect, and I'm not hating it. But it's not really going to work with my style. I might have to experiment with that more later, but um good, 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 Joe. Yeah, always only ask people you trust. Only ask people you trust. Um yeah, pain and trauma can shut it down, but quick. All right, let's do... I'm not ready for that curtain yet. It's going to be kind of a patterned curtain, and I'm just not ready to move on to that. I'm going to work on my values in there. Thank you very much, Tammy. I do like that look, but I just don't think it goes with my overall style. Like if I were fixing to leave it about like this, I think I'd leave those heavy lines in there, and I might add some more. But I have still so far to go, so they're probably gonna... They're probably gonna get gone. Isn't it crazy how blue and brown can make black? But it still has life, which to you guys, it just looks black right there. But I can still see the pink through it. And I love that. This brush is too big. Good, good, good. That's going to take a few layers, but that's okay because my table is supposed to be brown. So I got a lot of work to do on the table too. I think that's probably. Just make it a little bigger than I know I need it. And now that I've got the outlines there and I mentioned Gauguin, it kind of reminds me of a Gauguin painting, which I'm not angry about. Okay. Not too bad. Um so we're about at an hour right now. Do you guys want to hang out for a little bit longer or do you want to go? I don't mind either way. In fact, I would probably get more done if I stay. Um, but who knows? Mm. Hmm. I'm going to do one more little bit on the table. Longer? All right, Diane. Okay. All right, we can stay for a little bit longer. I was just talking about with my members about the need to get back into a regular routine where I'm actually doing my painting on a regular basis like I used to. So I guess staying and painting longer would be helpful for that. All right, all right. Just get some more going on this table. The other great thing about glazing that I love is that you don't have to really worry too much about your color. Like right now, this color is not what color I want the table to be. This is kind of a, just like a dry, dead, grayish color. And it's not even really the right value. But I'm going to glaze on it. And when I glaze it, I can glaze it darker. I can glaze it warmer. I can give it more life. So that's why I'm not worried about that. It ain't perfect and it don't gotta be. Yes, Joe. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. I I have learned how to pronounce that word before. I will never be able to pronounce that word ever. Let's warm this side up just a little bit though. Actually, I probably want that cooler. Come to think of it, because there's a window right next to it. There we go. I'm going to make this table just a little wobbly. I want it to look like old wood. I don't want like a brand new IKEA table. Much better. You're lost in thought. I do that a lot. Cloysonism. Thanks, Joe. I think that one will stick. Cloysonism. Cloysonism. I think I got it. You're a pal. I appreciate it. Oh, I got to do it, don't I? It's time for the curtain. For me, like I know the vase is like front and center, and it's the big kind of the star attraction. But for me, the star attraction really is this curtain, which is going to be fairly dark and in shadow, but I'm excited to paint this curtain. So we're just going to jump into it. Get some of our little florally shapes on it. But I'm not going to paint flowers. So much like my, you guys didn't see it, my members did. This one here. I haven't framed it yet because I need to get it photographed for prints, but so much like the curtain in here, uh, where I did not paint specific flowers, but it looks like a floral pattern. It's kind of what I'm going to do on this one, but it's going to be bigger. Not on the wall, just on the window. See, not specific shapes. And yes, I know that that looks terrible. Bear with me. It looks blurry. It might have blurred for a second. Also, it's starting to get really bright outside. Let me see if I turn off one of my lights, if that'll help. Is it off? Nope, that's worse. I have 3 lights here. Is that a little better? Yeah, it's just because of the light coming from outside. I'm sorry. This was just a little too separated. I'm just gonna connect those shapes a bit more. Broken and loose. That's right, Krista. Just like we talked about our mark making in January. Because if I were to come in here and paint very specific flowers, then the curtains would be the only thing you looked at. Because these are not very specific flower shapes, and they're not going to be. There'll be a little bit of highlight on them on the top, but it's going to be very dark. So if this is very overly flowery, then it's going to look way too flowery in the end piece, and it's going to throw off everything else. I'm going to do some more with some kind of a dirty green color. Since green represents leaves, I'm just going to make sure that my brush strokes are a little bit different than that reddish color. So it's not just a bunch of like random scribbling. There is a little bit of a cohesion between like the shapes made by the green versus the shapes made by the dirty red color. Good, good. I'm giving myself a lot of options. So right now, that's a lot. It's a lot. I'm going to lose a lot of these shapes when I come put the curtain color in. And so, to make sure that I don't end up with tiny little speckles once I put my curtain color back in, I go a little overboard with the color. I need to let that dry. Maybe I'll work on the vase just a little bit while I wait for the curtain to dry. A little more blue than that. But the way that I learned to paint like this was just from doing it, just from challenging myself. Don't ruin it. I know trust me, that's always in my head. It's like a challenge. Can I do it without ruining it? Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can. But yeah, I think if you change your relationship with what it means to ruin a painting or what it means to be successful or a failure in a painting. Not a failure, that sounds harsh. To fail, to have a painting fail, if you change what those things mean to you, as well as your reaction to them, then I think that you open yourself up to being able to do things that you never really thought you could do before. And that's really how I learned how to paint like this. It was actually coming from a place of I was learning. I was taking some painting classes from a good friend of mine who is an oil painter, and I wasn't interested in moving over to oil, and so I was trying to find a way that I could emulate those techniques with acrylic and to get the really blended look, the cohesion in the paint colors like you do with oil. I had to layer acrylic because acrylic paint dries fast. We know that. It's really hard to work wet into wet for very long on too big of a canvas or an area. But if you work in transparent layers and glazes, you can achieve those similar looks. And I'm currently in the middle of an argument on Facebook with a guy who is talking about how, nope, you can't be a professional artist and use acrylic paint. Acrylic paint is for beginners who, he literally said, beginners who paint superheroes. And I just think that that's kind of gatekeeping, a little bit of elitism. Like one medium is not better than the other, or one medium is not worse than another. It's what you do with it. It's how you use it. So again, if somebody comes at you with, "Ew, why are you using acrylic paint? Real artists use oil paint." Just tell them to shut up. I give you permission. Yeah, absolutely. If you ruin something, you can fix it. There's nothing you can't fix. The only thing that's going to stop you from fixing something is, do you want to? Like sometimes I'll be doing a painting and I'm just like, this is awful. I could fix it, but it's just not even worth my time. And so I'll start over. But it's not because it can't be fixed, it's just because I'm over it. Taking into account the fact that the black from the wall is coming through and the table is a little lighter. I'm not worried about doing like hard lines in there. Exactly. Exactly, Tammy. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I get that there's a lot of people who feel like oil paint is the paint of the masters and therefore it's, the purest way to express yourself with paint. But the reason the masters used oil paint was because there wasn't a lot of other options, you know? And that's just how it is. They used what they had and they didn't have tons. All right. This vase has such a long way to go, but so far I'm not terribly unhappy with it. Oh no. Yes, acrylic is for real artists too. Crayola crayons are for real artists too. A number two pencil is for real artists. Finger paint, ketchup, coffee. Um, if it's a medium that you can express yourself with, it's it's real art. And yeah, I refuse to fall into those traps of those are bad materials and these are the best materials because that's just crap. Um, oh, so is there an activity like walking in nature, drinking tea, not driving a car that helps you think in graphic form that's not painting itself? Um, for me, I kind of try to take inspiration from things that I see around me. Um, uh, my husband and I watch a lot of, there's these videos on YouTube. I don't know how to describe them. They're just music and images. And it's like really ambient music and kind of strange, like liminal type images. And they're so moody and beautiful. And sometimes I'll take pictures of my TV because I like want to remember the vibe or the color or the mood or something from it. Um, yeah. And like Eileen said, color charts. Yep. Make some color charts. Yep. Yeah. Acrylic wasn't invented until, well, let's see. I think it was invented, acrylic paints in some form were invented pretty early. I want to say in the 30s. But they were invented for like painting warplanes or something crazy. I can't remember exactly. And then, it moved on into artists, and artists like Andy Warhol kind of took up the acrylic and started using that. And I mean, as far as I know, Andy Warhol kind of championed acrylic paint and started making it really popular for artists to use. So see, I'm overlapping some of those. I'm cutting some of them out. I'm using my paint very thin. So some of them, even though I'm going over them, the dark bit will still be there and it will still affect the overall look. Just get a little bit in there. Uh, oh, yeah, the tubes. Yeah. Most artists would have to mix their own paints. They would buy pigments and mediums and then have to mix it on their own. I know that still doesn't look like a floral curtain. It still looks just weird. It's gonna be good, I think. Whenever I start painting um, floralies like that, I always start getting nervous. I'm like, this is gonna be the time that I can't do this. This is gonna be the time when that does not work out for me. And It's yet to happen. I mean, I have had to work at it a little bit, but I haven't really had any of the florals that I've tried to do all out fail. I thought I was going to be close on the curtains that I did recently in the green room. Yeah, there was a minute where I thought, oh, these curtains are not going to work out. I'm going to have to come up with a different plan for them, but they ended up being good. Yeah, color charts are the best. I think that they're a really great way to get back into painting as well because it's low pressure, but it's actually using paint. All you're doing is mixing it and making little rectangles of color, squares of color that you can look at later. So, yeah, that's a really good place to start because sometimes all you need to do is break the break the spell, right? And if a spell is making it hard for you to pick up paint and put it down in a meaningful way, make color charts because bonus once you do start painting again, you've got some color charts to help you out. Start helping you pick out some colors. Or you learned something about maybe a couple colors you've never used together or a tube of paint you've never even opened. Is it just me that has those? I have a lot of tubes of paint that I've never even used. This is way too much. There's way too much going on in here. We need to get rid of some of that. Curtains definitely need a few layers to get where they're going. I think that'll be a good start. Oh man, art history. I mean, you can take classes. It's kind of expensive, but there are so many documentaries on YouTube alone about artists and art materials, art movements, all kinds of stuff. Like, just, it really does fall from apple trees, I promise. Jump onto YouTube and just search art history and just start devouring it. Because that's all it is, talking about where these materials came from or where this art movement started. Oh, yeah. And books. I got a lot of those too. Okay, let's see. What's next? Ouch. Ouch. I'll work on the window frame a bit. Yes, it is. Absolute treasure trove. I find that I watch more YouTube than just about anything else these days. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I don't want the yellow to be quite so evident on these little crossbars. Just kind of like flavors of it. Like maybe it's just being washed out in the shadows or from age. So I'm going to get a bit of it in there, but then we're going to take some of it back. Whoops. All right. Yeah, this is starting to go where I want it to go. I think I'm going to paint the windowsill just in here. And then I'm probably going to be done for the day. What time is it? Thank you so much. 2:30. So thank you, Tammy. They are so far from done. There's probably going to be at least 3 more layers on there, at least, not including, glazes. Um, yeah. So I just need this kind of a nondescript silvery brightish color. It's probably too bright, but that's okay. Because I'll fix it up with some glazes later. That's pretty good. I actually like this color for the table too. The table needs to be much lighter over here. So I'll just scumble a bit of that in. All right. Accidentally made a hard line there between my shadow and the light, and I don't want a hard line there. Maybe just a peek of that light on this side. Not much. Just to remind us it's all the same table. Excellent. It's going good. All right. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. Come back to it tomorrow. Hopefully, tomorrow. Oh, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, yeah. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. It was very enjoyable and very necessary for me. And I hope it was good for you. And members, we will not have class this Sunday. Remember, we're going to have class next Sunday instead. But I will try and get in for a members only live event um, in the next few days, sometime. Um, oh, yes. Do it, Joe. Do it, do it, do it. But anyway, yeah, I hope to come back with this painting again and see if we can usher it along a bit more. So, yeah, thanks again for hanging out with me, everybody. I love you tons, and I look forward to seeing you next time. So, goodbye.